Chad Melenda, I know you. I'm building a new retail site, and while, yes, I am on social media, I've had to battle a bit with my team about how we should be using it. The argument is, should we be trying to build pre-hype around the site that isn't really fully functional yet, or should we wait until the site is functional and announce more grand opening? I won't tell you which side I was on, but I'm curious which way you should go. Excellent question. I had this conversation with Craig Fifield the other day, and this is a huge emphasis on where the future of social media is, Chad. And Chad's an old buddy of mine. He's from high school and college. I've known him, actually middle school. I've known him my whole life. So I'm going to be pretty much blunt with you about this whole process. Social media is less about the product and more about the person. And you've got to understand this on a very fundamental level. The psychology of social media is that I am going to buy your product because I like you, not I'm going to like you because I like your product. And once you fully grasp that, once you fully understand how that connection is made, you understand that social media, your personality and presence on social media, and your business on social media are two completely separate entities. What you need to be building, what your team needs to be building, is they need to be building trust, followers, and relationships on Google+, regardless of the product or service that you offer. But what you do is you target your key demographics when you're doing that engagement and that connection. I recommend you look into a product called Circloscope if you're going to pursue Google+. Circloscope will allow you to target people based on the content that they're sharing or discussing. Then you can engage those users and start building a following and being yourself on social media and being just an awesome guy. Just be yourself. Once you build those relationships, build those connections, then you can say, hey guys, check out this product or service now that I'm offering, and they'll get on board with it because they don't buy products. This is the current culture we're in. We don't buy products, just like with Apple. We don't buy it because it's the best product necessarily. We buy it because we trust the person or we have a good feeling about the person who's relaying that product to us. Social media has finally gotten to the point where it is word-of-mouth advertising. Finally. Because you're finally able to, if you use the tools properly, you're finally able to actually build a real relationship with people beyond this superficial way that we've all kind of used social media. So my strongest advice to your team is you have a single page for your product or service. It's a Google Plus page. Then your whole team gets on Google Plus and your whole team begins to follow and connect and engage in their own way, being themselves with your target demographic. You start building relationships by engaging that demographic. You build up that followership as you're building your product, and yes, you can throw out little teasers and stuff from time to time, and it's a great thing. Like you could be saying, oh man, today sucks, I was working on my website for whatever, and people are like, oh cool, you do web design, and anyways, you can make it part of a conversation piece. And then when you finally debut the product, you will have a following of people who you've built relationships with who can get behind the product immediately. Now, another thing I can throw out here for this on social media marketing is that if you take it a step further, if you really are brave, if you're really confident, and you really want to leverage social media, I've seen a couple people being completely brilliant on Google+, and they become regular Hangout on Air. What's the word I'm looking for? They become regular Hangout on Air attendees for shows. In other words, they position themselves as I am a Ruby developer or whatever you might be, and then when people are doing Hangouts, after they've built their following, they say, hey, I'd like to be on your show, and you go on the show and you kind of say, yeah, I'm currently a developer, I'm working on a great project, and you know who's doing this right now is Craig Fifield. He doesn't have a product yet, and he's been on Google Plus for 4 months, and then every time I talk to him, he's got his hashtag Craig Army. I've got the hashtag Craig Minions. He's got the hashtag Craig Army. And so I said, so what do you do? He goes, nothing yet. He goes, I'm working on my product. But I'm building my following for that when I launch my product, people will listen. And I think it's just a brilliant approach to social media because it's less, and he understands, it's a complete disconnect. Craig Fifield isn't a no-brain guy. He worked for Microsoft for 10 years building keyword search engine optimization software. It's not like he doesn't know what he's talking about, but he understands that there is a firm disconnect between the social aspect of technology and the business aspect. And it's all about building those relationships, and you got to take the time for it. And I hope that answers your question. I'm assuming it does. But if you really want to get started, show them this clip, and you guys need to get started like yesterday, because it's definitely going to separate you from your competition. Very few people are leveraging social media properly right now. They're all using the tools that never work.